What's up, everyone? Not expecting to get locked into a wall like that. This is All Destroyer 229, and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 5.
Alright, let's go.
Last time, we continued exploring Okumura's palace, making our way... Good, no enemies. Making our way through the barracks section. In this episode, we continue onward through the general surroundings of the palace as we try to get ever closer to the main station where the treasure
Show me
awaits.
your true form.
Hey, Neko Shogun leveled up.
Okay.
One level away from the skill that I
That
want.
enemy was really weak.
So while we are continuing to go through Okumura's palace, we still have a couple of history lessons that we need to get to. And so oh,
Let's see it.
didn't see that was treasure. So we are going to go and begin another history lesson
Show me
today.
your true form.
I can get a hit in.
Oh, hello. We have not seen Queen's follow-up attack.
Go ahead.
I'll knock some sense into them. That's one down. Double Queen down.
Nice job, Queen. Now for Noir to finish the job.
Ready. Noir crushed it.
Seriously, Noir? You had one job, Noir.
Now defeat it. Let's go.
Anyway, like I said, we are going to be going over a new history lesson. Ooh, and we have brain scanners. Those are ones that are...
Show me your true form.
Those are like the hounds. Although, surprisingly weak, they are still very, well, alert. So, you gotta be careful around those.
I'll reveal your true form. Okay.
So anyway, our history lesson today takes us to our newest companion, Noir, and her persona. We are going to be talking today about Milady.
Show me your true form. All right.
So, Milady,
Complete victory.
also
Now let's
known
keep going.
as Milady de Winter, she is one of the primary antagonists of Alexander Dumas's novel, The Three Musketeers, which takes place in France around 1625. She is a spy for the actual antagonist, which I'll get into as soon as I beat up this guy. Or do that. She's a spy for the main antagonist, Cardinal Richelieu. Also, note that I'm very terrible with French names, so I'm probably going to mispronounce a lot of them. And Milady herself is a...
A treasure chest.
Yes, thank you, Mona. Ooh, spyware latent gear. So Milady herself is very seductive and is very good at assassinations, and is a classical example of a femme fatale. In fact, her tale begins when she is about 16, when she was a Benedictine nun. At this point, she was not known as Milady. In fact, her actual name is not known at all. But when she was 16, she, well, being Milady, she seduced a priest and convinced him to steal the church's chalice in order to
I'll
sell.
reveal your true form.
Now, the reason why she
Felt the
wanted
difference in
this
strength
priest to
in
do
that
this was because she actually wanted to start a new life with this priest. So, the funds for selling the chalice would have been used to help begin a new life. However, this plan very much backfired, and the two of them were caught. And once they were sent to jail, Milady, well, she wanted to try to get out because jail would not suit her.
Yeah. Indeed.
Right. And, well, we're going to have to get that information somehow. So, if it has to come out of Okumura's shadow itself, well then, so be it.
Show me your true form.
Now, Milady managed to successfully seduce her jailer and convinced him to let her go. This obviously meant that she had to leave her lover behind, but Milady was more than willing to make that sacrifice. Now, the executioner, who was basically in charge of branding criminals, to make sure that the public knew that they were indeed convicted criminals, realized that the priest that he was supposed to brand was actually his brother. And he was incredibly upset that this temptress would basically, well, send his brother on the wrong path. Now we get a Black Kogatana. So he pretty much led the charge in order to capture this lover of his brother, which he was successful in doing. He managed to catch Milady and branded her with a fleur-de-lis. Basically like a flower symbol, for those of you who are not aware. This fleur-de-lis is essentially a symbol that, well, branded you as a convicted criminal. So anyone who saw the fleur-de-lis would know that you had been convicted of a crime.
This looks usable. Let's take a break, Joker.
Alright, now I can fast travel here at any point. Though I'm still gonna stick with this party for now.
Okay.
Just to be on the safe side. Now, after she had been branded, Milady, once again, managed to escape. And this time, her lover came with her, and the two of them fled to the countryside.
Wait!
see.
Right. Be able to help out all of these people, we can just cause that change of heart. Well, especially bad for Noir. Anyway, back to our story about Milady. So Milady, going by the name Anne de Breuil, she and this priest basically masqueraded as brother and sister in order to avoid the authorities. Now, while she had this identity, Milady caught the eye of the local lord. Fortunately, I wrote this pretty small, so I need to make sure I say it right. The Comte de la Fere. Now, the Comte, which is, like I said, the local lord, was pretty much head over heels for Anne. And not our Anne, but the Milady Anne. He was head over heels for her, and Milady Anne, I'm just gonna refer to her as Milady just to keep things simple. Milady also returned the feelings for this lord. And, oh boy.
Show me your true form.
Ooh.
They've got the advantage.
Lilith.
Don't rep gunfire is our best shot. Let's mop 'em up.
Okay, wind, gun, and light.
Witness my
Well, it'd be nice if we could just switch on over to Noir, but
Zora! Mona, good job. 2 enemies toppled.
being as they are, I can keep on getting more SP. And now I am, damn it, I am almost back to full.
Let's go.
This is why I love this accessory.
Beat 'em up.
Of course, Neko Shogun's ability also helps. Oh, sweet. Oracle leveled up.
Okay.
Now, despite
That enemy was
opposition
really
from
weak.
pretty much everyone in his family, the Lord married Milady, which basically gave her a noble rank. And okay, well, we can keep on pressing onward over here.
This is... Sure, why not?
Well, that would certainly make things simple. Ah!
Wait!
Well, it's worth a shot. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be that easy to get across. Now, one day, as the Lord and Milady were riding in a forest... Hold on, did I skip by a treasure? No, that was the one I went past. Anyway, so as the two of them were riding in a forest... Milady fell from her horse and fainted. Now, the Lord, being concerned for his wife, cut open her clothes so that way she could breathe easier. But it was upon doing this that he realized his wife's terrible secret. He saw the fleur-de-lis that was on her shoulder, which told him that she was a convicted criminal. Now, this was a huge affront because, you know, he was a lord. He was someone of great power, and he had married a convicted criminal.
But
Well, times 10 might work, but let's maybe do this incrementally. What happens if we do it to times 3?
Yes.
I guess we didn't need times 10.
No way, man.
yes. Hey,
That would certainly get us to the other side. So yeah, it doesn't matter what speed you set it to. It will break no matter what. So anyway, the Lord became, well, incredibly distraught and wasn't quite sure what to do, since admitting that he had married a convicted felon would be extremely disrespectful. Not to mention could jeopardize his entire estate. So, he did what he was entitled to do. He hung his wife, as was his right as a ruler to execute convicted criminals. Now, he still felt guilty about this, and so he left his estate and took on a new name, Athos. And he would go on to be one of what was regarded as the Three Musketeers. But this is not the end of Milady. Far from it. We are still just at the beginning. For you see, even though Milady had been hanged, it didn't kill her. So, when she came to, she saw that she was alone in a forest with a noose around her neck. And she wasn't quite sure what happened. But since she never heard of the Lord again, the Comte de la Fere, she presumed that her husband had been killed. And so she moved on to bigger and better
Show me your true
things.
form.
Now, fast forward a few years, where Milady is about 22 years old. At this point in time, she married Baron Sheffield, who was the younger brother of Lord de Winter, and this is when she took on the name Milady. So again, not known what her original name was. She was called on while she was married to the Comte de la Fere, and now she is called Milady.
Show me your true form.
Oh, hi there, Belphegor, or the Ambassador Filth. You're probably weak to light.
There.
You are not weak to light. Oh. Try Miracle Punch.
I should have done it.
Damn it. Well, I can do this.
Go, Queen, go!
What do I do for you? I'm gonna try another punch.
On to the left.
Come on. Damn it. Okay, well.
Keep it coming, Noir.
Okay, well, that didn't quite work as anticipated. Who are Dekarabia to... Okay, they're neutral to psychic, so I'm fine doing this.
Behold! Keep that up.
Okay, Mabufala.
Here I go. Speed
I was kind of hoping that he would then just beg for his life. But, whatever. He uses ice, maybe he's weak to fire? Worth a shot.
Ravage them.
He's weak to fire.
Let's catch your breath.
Good to know for the future.
Just like I thought.
Hey, Noir leveled up.
Okay.
Now, what seemed kind of odd with her marriage to the Baron was the fact that, no joke, simply a few hours after the Baron had made her heir to his estate and fortune, the Baron mysteriously died.
Show me your true form.
Now, it was at this point in time that she had a new employer, and this was Cardinal Richelieu. Again, apologies for names. I can't really speak French all that well. So, the Cardinal was a corrupt clergyman who wanted nothing more than to have England and France go to war with one another for his own benefits.
Focus.
So let's change the speed. Now, in order to accomplish this end, the Cardinal instructs Milady to go and steal some diamond studs from Queen Anne of France, which were a gift from her husband, Louis XIII.
Hey!
Okay, so at the very least, we are getting closer, though not exactly anywhere we can go to from here. It seems weird that it's like, maybe I can squeeze back there, but no, you can't. So, anyway. Queen Anne, however, gave these diamonds to her lover, the Duke of Buckingham, in England.
Focus.
So yeah, if this affair was exposed, this would cause great turmoil between England and France, and could, in fact, lead to all-out war, which was exactly what the Cardinal wanted. Now, Milady is successful in stealing these diamonds. There was nothing really wrong with her
Reveal
part.
your true form. Okay.
Now, even though she was sick,
That was an easy win. Let's
the
go,
heck
Joker.
was that? Now, it wasn't just a matter of stealing them. She had to steal them because the Queen was supposed to wear these diamond earrings to a party the Cardinal was hosting. And because it was a gift from her husband, she would have had no choice but to wear them.
Bold.
Go ahead and open up this lock chest. And we get a Fury Blade, a bead, and an emerald. Ooh. Alright, well, let's take a look at Fox. The Fury Blade. Medium chance to rage. Cool. Also, an arm console. Now, like I mentioned, Milady was in fact successful in stealing the diamonds for this, well, plot. There was nothing wrong on her end. Despite this, however, the plan proved to be unsuccessful, and the Queen managed to get a pair of earrings back thanks to the efforts of a poor nobleman called d'Argentan, as well as Duke Buckingham. So because of the efforts of these two men, the affair was not uncovered, and the plan ultimately failed, though not for any fault of Milady. Now, after the failed attempt to get war started, Milady went to see the Comte de Wardes, which was her current lover. She basically gives Wardes a sapphire and diamond ring in order to basically show her affection to him, and basically vents to him how much she despises d'Argentan, or d'Argentan. Again, French names, they're hard. So, not only because he ruined the plan, but also because during the course of this plan, he basically wounded Wardes and also spared her husband's life in a duel, which very much inconvenienced her.
Oh, man.
Hey. It seems...
Only one way to find out. Now, unfortunately for Milady, the man he was talking to was not actually her lover. Instead, the man she was talking to was d'Argentan. Yeah, the guy she hated really badly. Yeah. It was dark and she couldn't tell, but she was talking to the wrong person.
Knocked him right off their feet. Free. Nice, Joker.
Oh, cool. Auto-recruit. Hey, I am down. So now we have Belphegor. Awesome. Maybe I should have gone and went and do some Persona fusions. Bruna Kala might be good to still have. I'll get rid of Black Ooze.
That's a new one, isn't it?
Unfortunately, no money, but hey, Queen leveled up.
All right.
So yeah, like I mentioned, it was dark, she couldn't really see all that well, and it turned out that the man that she wanted to kill was in fact right there. Now the reason that d'Argentan was there was because he was actually kind of infatuated with Milady at the time. But obviously those feelings kind of faded when she vented to him that she wanted to kill him, so yeah, that was a bummer.
It seems...
Okay, well, there's not really a whole lot that we can do. Oh, wait a minute. Well, we can head down there, and I'd like to maybe get rid of this guy before he causes any trouble. So, yeah, we need to find a way across that way. And there are still more places for us to explore.
There's a shadow. Be careful.
But we should probably be careful
Shadow.
to,
Joker,
you know, not get
I'll reveal your true
ambushed.
form.
Problem with fighting Grimelicalas when they're by themselves, I can't do my usual strategy, which kinda sucks. Anyway. So, once Milady knew that it was d'Arcatan that she was talking to, she immediately tried to kill him. Because, you know, she really wanted him dead and had even more reason to want him dead. But it wasn't long before she had even more of a reason to want him dead. The reason why was that because in the struggle, d'Arcatan ripped
We can attack from here.
Milady's clothes and, surprise, surprise, saw the fleur-de-lis on her shoulder.
Okay.
Now, thankfully for d'Arcatan, he was
Done already.
very adept and managed to escape with his life. And afterwards, he went and informed his good friends, the Three Musketeers. Now, they were already aware of Milady at this time, you know, because of her plot to steal the Queen's, earrings. However, this new information proved to be very interesting, especially to one of the Musketeers in particular. Okay, so we have one of three options: break, lunch, and unpaid overtime. Considering it's Akumara, unpaid overtime probably doesn't do anything. So let's set it to break. Five seconds! So yeah, obviously that's not what you're supposed to do.
What was that? Indeed.
So yeah, obviously that's not what you're supposed to do. Instead, you're supposed to set it to lunch. And you get the basically same amount of dialogue. Well, slightly different. Well, that's still a load of crap. But 30 seconds is plenty of time for us. So, I also went and defeated all those shadows because if you get into a fight, then the timer still goes down. So, yeah, you gotta be quick to make sure that, well, as you can see right now, the timer still ticks down. So, you want to make sure... Damn. Good job, Queen. Yeah, you want to make sure that you don't get into any fights and you clear out all the enemies ahead of time. Because otherwise things are not going to end well for you. Well, damn. I was kind of hoping I wouldn't need to switch to Mithra. Or Mithra. Well, this is crap.
Ooh, Joker, you're looking cool.
Well, attack's not gonna kill him. And he gives crap for money now, so item? Straw doll. Okay, so I essentially get a Mudun?
Just like I thought.
I'm pretty sure that's just the Mudun.
All right.
And now for a cutscene. So, yeah. Like I mentioned, if you just go with unpaid overtime, nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. However, we have ourselves another console.
Wait!
I should have known.
Right, so just head to lunch and get ourselves 30 seconds then. Alright, we get another 30 seconds. And thankfully, it's actually kind enough to slow that down. But unfortunately, there is stuff over here. We are gonna need to come back.
Show me your true form. Okay.
And then we missed it because I wanted stuff.
A stylish victory.
I can feel
Anyway, back to the story. So, de Argatan told the Musketeers about what he saw about Milady, as well as the ring that she gave
it
him.
somewhere.
This was of particular interest to Athos. Oh,
Is that a rare one? Don't let it get away. Use my
gonna
persona.
suck, but
For me.
nuclear is what's gonna just straight up kill this thing. Although, do I don't happen to have Armitama, do I? No, I don't. Well, damn. Let's stick with Unicorn. Or I could try Neko Shogun.
Neko Shogun!
Neko Shogun!
There!
Nice flow. Let me help.
Go for it, Queen!
Okay? I'll crash them. That's our queen.
Excellent!
Do it!
Kill it!
They're done
Thank you, Queen! Look at that, with all those bonuses, 30,000 yen. Also, Mona leveled up.
Okay.
Now, the reason this was
I handled that
of
easily.
particular interest to Athos was the fact that not only did he obviously recognize the fleur-de-lis, but he also recognized the ring. The ring itself was his mother's ring that he gave to his wife. So, with all the information that the Argatan told him, also we have to wait out the clock because we can't access his panel otherwise. So, Athos was managed to piece together the fact that, given the information that de Arcatan told him, Milady was his wife. Now, a little bit later on, the Musketeers overhear a conversation that the Cardinal was giving to Milady. Specifically, the fact that he was giving her a pardon for, well, any sort of future crimes that she would commit. Particularly when it came to his new task for her, which was assassinating the Duke of Buckingham. The Musketeers managed to apprehend Milady, though, and they took her pardon. But they didn't really stop her. They basically just made her go on her merry little way in order to try to assassinate the Duke without the pardon.
Show me your true form.
It's also at this point in time that Milady figures out that
Stylish
Athos
victory.
was her husband. There's unfortunately not a good place to hide from this guy. Thankfully, he's really short-sighted. Oh god, he didn't turn around.
Reveal your true form.
Okay. So the Musketeers go
Leave the
off
noob and
after,
let's go.
you know, leaving Milady to her own devices. They basically go in order to warn Lord de Winter, Milady's husband, or, well, not her husband, it was her brother-in-law. They go to warn Milady's brother-in-law about the plot to kill the Duke of Buckingham. And they also let him know about her connection to Athos. Which Athos, who never really liked Milady much to begin with, had a valid excuse now to basically take her off of the inheritance, since her first husband was very much still alive, and, well, her marriage was technically not annulled because of death, because she was still technically married to Athos. There was no divorce or anything, it was just more of a, well, we assume that they died, which was not legally binding.
I'm okay.
Isn't that...
Right.
Okay, so we can
Hey,
jump
hey.
down there.
No.
Interesting that there's a lot of just random dialogue like that. Anyway, we are pretty much out of time, and conveniently enough, we're in front of a
there a
safe
safe
room.
room nearby?
Now, thankfully, this won't be like we
Let's
had
find
in Madarame's palace, but I would like to try to finish my history lesson right here, since we are pretty close to the end. So let's go ahead, enter the safe room, and then we can finish off our story of Milady.
This area seems sound.
Alright, and we saw what area we're in now.
Okay.
The disposal area. So anyway, after warning Lord de Winter, Lord de Winter, along with the Musketeers, ride on over to England in order to warn Duke Buckingham, and all of them together, the Musketeers, Lord de Winter, and Duke of Buckingham, all apprehend Milady. And Milady is then sent to jail. Now, while in jail, Milady persuades her jailer not just to let her go, but also to go and assassinate the Duke for her. This sounds crazy, but it actually wasn't as crazy as it just seems, simply because the jailer himself had his own grievances against the Duke, specifically about religious prejudice. And he's successful. He frees Milady, and he successfully assassinates the Duke of Buckingham. But Milady didn't exactly, well, honor her end of the deal, because she then got on a boat in order to go back to France, and she kind of promised to let the jailer go with him. Well, with her, excuse me. And she didn't quite wait up for him. So the jailer was promptly caught and then executed, for killing the Duke of Buckingham. Now, on Milady's way back to France, she just happens to meet d'Argentan's lover, Constance Bonacieux, who was basically like a handmaiden for Queen Anne. Now, Milady knew that Constance was d'Argentan's lover, and she still wanted him dead. So, if she couldn't kill d'Argentan, she could in the meanwhile kill the woman that he loved. And she poisoned Constance. And unfortunately for d'Argentan, he was not able to get to her side in time in order to save her. And she died. Now, eventually, Lord de Winter and the Musketeers catch up to her in Lille before she's able to rendezvous with the Cardinal. And they basically accuse her of any number of crimes in order to try to execute her right then and there on the spot because, they were kind of tired of her shenanigans. But the crux of Milady's defense was, what proof do you have that I ever committed any crimes? I have a fleur-de-lis, but what proof? Who of you saw any crimes I committed? Now, out of a cruel twist of fate for Milady, the executioner, who also just happened to be there, the executioner of Lille happened to be the old executioner that branded her with the fleur-de-lis. It turns out that this executioner had to basically serve the prison sentence of his brother who escaped. And when this brother found out, after Milady had been married to Athos, he went back in order to get his brother out of jail, and then that same night committed suicide. So the executioner still had a huge chip on his shoulder. And thus, her entire argument fell apart, and she was beheaded by that executioner, bringing her reign of terror to an end. While this doesn't necessarily end the story of the Three Musketeers, it does end Milady's part in it. And thus, we have our history lesson of Milady. Very powerful and very crafty assassin, but ultimately brought to justice by the Three Musketeers, their compatriot d'Argentan. So, now that we have that history lesson taken care of, we'll be able to head on into this disposal area next time. So, next time on Let's Play Persona 5. We will press ever onward. We still have quite a long way to go, but we are nearing the end of the factory portion here of the palace. So I'd say we just got past the halfway point, but we still have a bit of a ways to travel. We still have this area to get through, and then there's still the matter of the airlock area as well. So there's still a bit to get through. We're not done yet, not by a long shot. So until next time, everyone, take care.